Hello, I'm Renee Miles. Is this working? Yeah, I guess it is. Um, I need to explain my website. I need to explain what I do. H12 is an organization that I founded. I named it that. I didn't found anything. It found me. God found me, and so I gave a name to a 501c3 because I was trying to shelter a bunch of money my mom gave me to build an apartment before she died. It's downstairs right below me. It was only supposed to be like a $20,000 venture, but I'm sure it's $100,000 apartment. I spent the entire year last year building it, and I could add up the receipts. Um, but it didn't matter because I I knew the amount my mom had given me, and I knew that it all went there. So I was able to I was able to address that through taxes, and that's all I needed was that amount to help her. And I didn't tally everything. And she passed, and it made me realize that so often I've had these ventures and these people I meet, and I want to help, and she partners with me, so to speak. She would. It wasn't nice. Like it probably sounds nice. We didn't really get along, but she could give money away, and that's how she had relationships. It wasn't through the, the communication, but I think money was the solution to fix how toxic she was. And um, geez, that's not nice. But I ended up doing this stuff with it. So for a long time now, way back, um, my kid was little. I wasn't married yet for some of this stuff. So and I've been married 20 years. My husband's amazing. He loves people. So when I start to get cynical, he reminds me sometimes because I see the spiritual war and everything. I love Jesus, and he sees people as good. He helps me. So let's talk about what I do, so we can get a website together. Ever since I can remember, I've been having people live in my house. I find out that they're not okay, and they come live with me. And I've had a lot of different people live in my spare bedroom or my basement, and it's I think I just tend to over the top help, and it seems odd to the rest of the world, so I I gave it a name. And honestly, I need to rewind big time and just say that the things that I do have been born out of my love, the way that I've been loved from God. When I talked about my mom, see, the thing about her, I said some dark things, but she, somewhere later in life, had found a God, our God, and introduced me, quite frankly. But the way she did it was by helping me. And she kept saying that. She kept saying, I help you because the Bible says to help your family. Uh, and helping me often meant that I was helping someone else. That's a lot of the times why I would end up broke. Uh, um, she helped me literally move my entire life. When I had Sam, when I was young, I was 28, and I got stuck. I got really stuck, and I asked her, you know, what it was. How could I meet this God that was making her help me? tremendously, so tremendously, to fix my life in this moment. And she said a couple of things, and it was enough for me to find my way to a good church. She said, you need to stop living with a man that you're not married to, first of all. And she said, I'll help you move. She moved me across the country. And when I got here, I stayed across the country. And when I got to Michigan, I asked somebody about a church because I heard her, and found one. And I became a born-again follower of Christ a couple of years later. And it's a process. And I was always in church as a kid, but this was different. I was 33. I'm 55. Anyway, I'm rewinding to that because it didn't start really till then. And it's about God loving me so much. He kind of picked me up out of this mire. He used my mom and saved my life, literally. So I get excited. I want to give that to people. I want to be like, look, you could have my Jesus, and he will help you. So instead, I help them, and then I hope they see Jesus. So I've had people live at my house, and then I'd be talking to my girlfriend and find out that she's losing custody of her children and needs a lawyer, and I'd be like, I have a credit card that's not maxed out. And I'd hire a lawyer. I'd do some research. I'd go and I'd retain the attorney. There's a man. I can remember scaring my child. She was little because there was a black man where I worked, an older man, gentleman who lived on the train track, and I developed a relationship with him, and we would go to meals with him. Sam is my daughter. Sam had a lot of these moments where she was, frightened by some of the people that I would meet in our encounters when she was little. I'm the person that gets out of the car and goes and talks to the panhandler and gives them money, and everyone says, oh, they're going to use it for drugs and alcohol. I'm that person who gives them money. I just want to help. So when I built the downstairs, I had another woman living with us, and a lot of the people that I know are from drugs and alcohol, recovery. My husband and I have the background of drugs and alcohol. Me, before I married him, I had those experiences. I was about 5 years sober when I met him because I had just gotten sober with my new kid. I was 5 years sober, but I had been working that hard for about 9 when I met him, because I had a daughter. God just he did something and took it. I was doing it really well, but he wasn't, and I wasn't dating when I met him. But I invited him to my church, and I knew about his issues shortly thereafter, and I watched him get baptized and become, very involved with my church. And then he asked me to marry him, and we were married. And so drugs and alcohol are part of my past, and they're still a part of my life, because while I thought my husband was going to do what I did, and get all God oriented and let that replace everything else, he didn't. He still struggles. But here's the thing: everybody struggles, and I hurt. I hurt when I see it and when I hear about it, and it's not for my husband, it's not for me. This world is so freaking broken, and it's brutal, and it almost got its claws in me when I had my kid. And if it hadn't been for my mom, I don't think I'd be okay right now. So I worry about everybody else out there that doesn't have someone like my mom. to bail them out when life crushes them. I don't think everybody has a person like my mom, and it makes me feel extremely humbled and grateful. And that's why when I hear about things, I just do whatever I can, because I'm fortunate. I'm okay, and so this week, this week I heard about it. Somebody that needed a bed, and the man that has helped me for years, and he's lived with me, who needed a trailer. Last week, we got him a trailer because his broke. Age 12. When I say we, what I mean is, let's call it age 12. Who's doing this stuff, because age 12 means Hebrews 12. I don't want to take credit for this stuff. I can't talk about these people and their struggles personally and give out names. I can tell their stories. But age 12, Hebrews 12:3 says that don't be discouraged when God disciplines you, because he disciplines those he loves. So I figure if someone comes to me and they're struggling and they need help, it's probably because God is trusting me to love on them, and he knows I will. And it's probably because they're broken somehow from life. Discipline, broken. That was me, Hebrews age 12. I believe every time God brought me out of the mire, it was likely discipline. It was, here, let's find you a little different way. And for me, it was age 12. It was Hebrews 12:3. It was, Lord disciplines those he loves. And it brought me to Michigan. I believe I found myself having to call my mom, ask for help back then, because I wasn't going the right way. It was discipline. And it was, he disciplines those he loves. And he loved me before I even was really giving him the time of day. See, and that's what he does. So I'm trying to share that, show that, be him. Show people that there's this incredible agape love that sometimes sweeps in out of nowhere and does really great things. But not great things, not great's the wrong word, does big things. I bring cash to church because I know there's a family it needs money. I bought my best friend's son an iPad and gave him my mom's computer about 2 weeks ago because he's homeschooling, and I don't think my friend has the money to get him the entire setup. He needs a couple different pieces of technology to do things while he's doing things, and I could do it, and I did. He has some nice equipment now. I don't know how to go down a list here, but every day there's something that comes up. Sometimes it's big, sometimes it's little. Let's see. When I built that apartment downstairs, and I really wish there was a way I could just get out of it, but I feel like God led me to build that downstairs. When I was doing that, I tried to make everyone that came and worked here feel loved. I created a cooler, and then the fridge came. It was delivered, and I filled it with soda, and then the cabinets had candy bars and chips, and everyone knew that they were welcome to eat. And they were safe here, and that I loved them. I appreciated them. Before we get started for the day, I want to make sure I made them coffee and just told them thank you. I want people, when they come to my home, to experience God's love. And sometimes that costs money. I want people to use the apartment downstairs. I don't want them to have to pay. I will take a donation. But that can never be rented because it's a 501c3 and you can't sell and make money. So I will never rent that. Worst case scenario, I would do Airbnb when it wasn't being used for maybe a weekend, but I haven't gotten myself that together. And that would be a little bit of money, but I have to be careful. You can't raise more than $55,000. You can't take in and have income above $55,000. I sent Nora a write-up of some of the things I've done. Legal help. People come to live with us. I find out people need groceries. I have them sent to their house. I've been doing that for the church secretary. She's in trouble. She's not in a good marriage. I know somebody has damaged their car. I'll rent a car for them. It's never very big. I don't have a lot of money, but I have some. I have more than they did in that moment, and I tend to spend everything I can. It's more important to me than anything else. I do like having my own stuff, but somehow it's always balanced. I just never. It's really important to me to be honoring God every day, and I can't help but think that in this broken world, that means not ignoring the pain. Just people are hurting, and sometimes I can't do anything. A lot of the times I can't do anything, but sometimes I can do something. And if I can, I will. I do some work with animals. I have 9 of them here right now, and that's Alex. He's 16 years old. I've had him since he was a baby. I have 9 animals here, and people will bring their animals to me to train a little bit. They'll be having behavior problems, and I can work with animals and kind of understand them, speak their language, spend some time with them. There is really a very different language going on with animals, and people think they can talk to them, and it doesn't work that way. You just need to understand where they're at. And I try, and I babysit a lot of animals. People bring their pets to me for when they're going on vacation. There's one here now. I don't charge anybody. I should. That would be how I could fund my nonprofit. But it's never anybody I want to charge. I have my daughter's dog right now. I would never charge her. I had someone at church. He went on vacation. I had his dog. I don't want to charge him. I want people to feel helped and loved. And if I can watch their dog, it really is more important to me that they feel love in my house, and I don't want to talk about money. So those are the things I want to keep doing if I can. I'm in school, and I'm trying to get accepted into veterinary school. I've been a bookkeeper for 27 years, and I've lost my mind, clearly, because I'm 55. We'll see where that goes. I don't know how long this can be. This is kind of ridiculous right now. I'm babbling a lot. For a lot of this, you're going to have to cut the whole thing. It'd be easier for me to keep a diary every day of stuff that I do, because I don't try and remember it to tell somebody about it. In fact, the Bible is pretty clear. You're not supposed to talk about this stuff. The right hand doesn't tell the left hand what it's doing, and treasures here on earth are only good in heaven if you keep them a secret. When you start telling everyone what you do, it's no longer a treasure in heaven. It no longer benefits you. It no longer honors God. It's benefiting you, and I don't want to do that. So I don't record this stuff on paper. I don't talk about it to people. so it's hard for me to bring it all up. I would love to keep a diary, keep a blog going. Adam thought there was some way I could have help from you guys to do a blog, and I'd love to have something I write down, kind of what I've done for the week. It's usually a couple different things, and so I hope that at the end of the day, my website, when people look at it, they go, wow, people are hurting, and it's not that hard to help. We should help, and I hope they're inspired to help. And then if there's people out there that like that I help and they don't have time, but they have some money and they feel led, I hope they would give me money so that I can continue to help. Because it does cost money. It's expensive to support people. Usually people's brokenness comes down to they need something. They need something to fix the place that they found themselves in, whether it's a new place to live, some legal help, some clothing, some food, just some help getting by. Sometimes it's some money in their jail commissary when they're really broken. I'm doing that too. I heard about a guy at church who's Sparta. I don't know him, but I know what it is to be in jail, and I sent him some money, just $50 for his commissary. But I'm gonna keep doing that. He doesn't know me, but I was led. I heard his name. I was led. It happens every day. See, those are the things I can't remember because they just come to me. Thank you for listening. I hope this isn't crazy, or I would love your feedback, Nora. Thanks for listening.